Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, Israel. We're here with you about like today on this Wednesday class. Today, the title of the class is called Spirits of Whoredom in Israel. The first piece of the day is going to be Romans 12 and 1. Spirits of Whoredom in Israel. The book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy. You present your bodies as a living sacrifice. Holy means separate. Acceptable unto God. Acceptable unto God. That means to be acceptable unto God. That means you have to be keeping some set of laws to be acceptable for Him. Which is your reasonable service. This is your reasonable service. This is the base thing you should do. This is the base thing for all men to follow. All men who are under the law or Israel. He read not. Verse 2. And be not conformed to this world. Be not conformed to this world. To be conformed to this world means, guess what? Following what this world does and going after the world and chasing after the world. He read not. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. He read not. That ye may prove what is that good, and acceptable, and perfect will of God. All these things right here, these are the things that you should work toward to prove to be acceptable to the Most High God. And all these things can be achieved by just keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Give me Hosea 4 and 12. Hosea is after Daniel, by the way. Hosea 4 and 12. The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 12. Our people, my people. This is God talking to His people. He only has one set of people, and that's talking about Israel. He read not. Ask counsel about their stock. They ask counsel. To ask counsel means to go to someone for information or go to someone for a question to be answered. He read not. And their staff declaring it open. I want that first part. Verse 12 from the top. My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declareth unto them, for the spirit of whoredoms hath caused them to err. The spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err. A spirit of whoredom is when you go away from God, or you spiritually commit whoredom to God by not keeping His laws and following after other nations and doing what they do and doing things that are against God. You read not. And they have gone a whoring. They have gone a whoring. That means, guess what? We haven't done it once. We've gone on. We on a trend of just whoring. We go into Buddhism. We go into Christianity. We go into Muslim, Hinduism. These are all forms of spiritual whoredom that is going against God. You read not. From under their God. I don't want that second one. But this precept right here is a good precept to help you understand why Israel is in the position we are today, because we left God and we went a whoring. Give me Jeremiah 2 and 27. And this right here, Jeremiah 2 and 27, is a precept to Hosea 4 and 12. So this is something you would be able to write in your book, Jeremiah 2 and 27. Go ahead and read that off. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 27. Saying to a stock, thou art my father. Okay, let's get understanding of this. Keep reading, and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth. The stock is going to, guess what, that cross. And the stone is, guess what, going to Muslims or people that are cobblestone. These are things that we have taken for a father and a mother. Keep reading, thou hast brought me forth, for they have turned their back unto me. Guess what? We turn our backs unto the Most High God. So that's not a good thing. Keep reading, and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, keep reading, they will say, arise and save us. These are the things that our people do. We turn our back to God. We go spiritually commit whoredom, and we turn our back, and then we want the Most High to save us when we're in trouble. Now you understand why people in today they say, oh, why God let this happen? This is why He let it happen, because you are not following Him. You turn your back to Him on purpose. Go ahead, give me Ezekiel 16 and 1. These are all things that we as a people, as a nation, need to change. We need to stop turning our back to God and look at God and face the consequences of what we've done. Guess what? Every knee shall bow. Ezekiel 16:1. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, really saying I hear Capt, I hear pages. Go ahead, read it again. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, this is Ezekiel right here. Keep reading. Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abomination. Cause Jerusalem to know her abominations. Jerusalem was a people first. So he's talking about the people. Cause Jerusalem to know their abominations. Keep reading. And say, thus saith the Lord God unto Jerusalem. He's talking to the people. Keep reading. Thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Guess what? These are the nations we took to father. These are nations that have born us because we walked into their sins. Keep reading. Thy father was an Amorite. This is another nation we walked into. We're following their sins. Keep reading, not. And thy mother and Hittite. This is another nation we walked into, and these are nations that we are now following right now to this day. These are instead of God, we have turned our back from God, and now these are the nations we've allowed to be fathered over us right now. Keep reading on. And as for thy nativity, nativity, birth, keep reading. And the day thou wast born, thy navel, was not cut. Guess what? The navel wasn't cut. These are basic things you do for a baby when they're born. Keep reading on. Neither wast thou washed in water to supple thee. Guess what? We turned our back on God, so no one was there to wash us now. Keep reading on. Thou wast not salted at all. Guess what? These are the basic things. These are the basic things you do for a baby when it's born. These things we didn't have these things because guess what? We turned our back from God. So God did the exact same thing to us, and He said, "I'm cutting it off." Keep reading on. Nor swaddled. Guess what? At all. We weren't swaddled. We weren't given warmth anymore. Keep reading on. Verse 5. None I pity thee. Actually, give me Deuteronomy 7:1. I like this precept as well because this precept lets you know exactly what God did and why God did. He gave you the reasons and He told you why He did. And we still were surprised. We still today as a people are surprised why it has to be like this. But this Bible has every answer that you're looking for. This Bible has it. Let me go ahead and get there. Deuteronomy 7. Okay, go ahead and read that out. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, read up, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. Keep reading now. Let's get understanding on it. Keep reading. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them. Guess what? This is the Most High God delivering these nations in front of us. And He's saying, guess what? They're stronger than you, but guess what? Through my power, through my strength, you're going to be able to smite them. Keep reading, God. And utterly destroy them. Fine, keep reading. Thou shalt make no covenant with them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them. This right here is the thing we did as a people. We went out and we made a covenant with the other nations. We went out and we said, let's be agreeable. Let's start a dialogue. Keep reading, God. Nor shew mercy unto them. Fine, these are the things that we were supposed to follow as a people. Keep reading, now. Let's see what happened though. Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Neither shall we make marriages with them. There's no interracial marriage. It's guess what? What you were born as, that's what you should be seeking as to marry. That's who you should go out to seek to marry. Keep reading, now. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son. Keep reading. Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Fine, it goes both ways. Neither of them are acceptable unto God. To show yourself acceptable unto God, like it said in Romans 12:1. Guess what? Interracial marriage is not a part of it. Keep reading, God. For they will turn away thy son from following thee. Guess what? When you make a covenant or when you go out with the other nations, they will turn your son from following the law, statutes, and commandments. Keep reading, God. That they may serve other gods. That they may serve other gods. This is another big reason we as a people have committed spiritual whoredom by going out and trying to look at these other nations. This is how they get in your mind and turn you away from God. Keep reading, God. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you. So will now This right here was a simple and basic law to follow. Guess what? Make no covenant with the other nation. That's simple. Don't go out and commit interracial marriage. These are simple laws, simple, easy laws, easy to understand. But guess what? Give me Joshua 24 and 14. Oh, you didn't finish? My bad. Go ahead, finish it. And destroy thee suddenly. Fine, and destroy thee suddenly. Joshua 24 and 14. Joshua 24 and 14. Yeah, but it seems simple as we as a people, guess what? Make no covenant with them. Go ahead and read God. The book of Joshua, chapter 24 and verse 14. Now therefore, fear the Lord. Fear the Lord. Fine. And serve him in sincerity and in truth. Fine, okay? And put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood. Guess what? Put away the gods that your fathers served on the other side of the flood. That's going into the days of Noah. Guess what? Don't follow what they did. Keep reading now. And in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. Guess what? He's now saying, guess what? Put away the gods that your people served before the flood, and also put away the gods that your people served while you were in captivity in Egypt. Keep reading now. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, now he's talking to the Hebrews right now. Keep reading now. Choose you this day whom ye will serve. Guess what? Choose ye this day whom you will serve. You have a choice. The choice is yours to make. Guess what? Choose who you will serve this day. Keep reading now. Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, guess what? Choose the gods of the wicked people, the people who died to the flood. Okay, keep reading on. Or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. Fine, keep reading. But as for me and my house, guess what? But as for me and my house, keep reading on. We will serve the Lord. Guess what? God knows his people, and God knows whose people are his and whose people are not. Guess what? As for my house, we will serve the Lord. Now, anything? Give me Ezekiel 16 and 3. We're gonna be pulling a lot from Ezekiel 16. I got some. Go ahead and get it. Give me Revelation 3 and 15. Revelation 3 and 15. Speak up. The book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. Basically, in that last precept, God wanted them to choose a side, because either way it goes, you want to choose a side. You don't want you to serve both. I would thou work cold or hot. We'd rather you just go ahead and choose a side. Because if you lukewarm, you dead. You definitely don't be gone. That's all. Go ahead and 16. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. All right. He don't want y'all to be in the middle. He wants you to go ahead and choose a side. You with me or against me? Simple as that. Give me Ezekiel 16 and 3. Let's go back. Like I said, we're going to be putting from Ezekiel a lot in this class. Ezekiel 16 and 3. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 3. And say, thus saith the Lord God unto Jerusalem. This is God talking to the people. We got that though. Keep reading on. Thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Verse 5. None I pity thee. None. This is going back into who were born again. Guess what? The simple things that should happen to a baby when he's born, those things didn't happen to us because we turned from God. Keep reading on. To do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee. Nobody showed us compassion. Keep reading on. But thou wast cast out in the open field. Think about it. As a baby, we were cast out into the open field because we didn't follow God. It was a simple thing. Just follow God and keep his commandments. But But instead we went out and we did what the other nations did. We wanted to be like them. We envied them. Keep reading, huh? To the loathing of thy person. And the day that thou wast born. Guess what? This is the day that we were born right here. These are the things that happened to us. These are the things that happened to us. Keep reading, huh? Verse 6. And when I passed by thee and saw thee polluted in thine own blood, I said unto thee, when thou wast in thy blood, live. Guess what? This is the Most High's covenant with us. He said, guess what? He saw us, and he said, you know what? He said, you know what? Let's give him another chance. He saw us dead. He said, live. Keep reading, huh? Yea, I said unto thee, when thou wast in thy blood, live. He told us to live. Keep reading, huh? I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field. Keep reading. And thou hast increased and waxen great. And thou art come to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned. And thine hair is grown. Whereas thou wast naked and bare. Guess what? This right here is what the Most High is now doing for us. He's now giving us that comfort. We were naked and we were in sin, but this is the Most High trying to take us back and bring us back in. Jump down to verse 9. Verse 9. Then washed I thee with water. Now he's doing the things that the other nations wouldn't do for us. We went after them and they wouldn't even do it. Now the Most High is taking us back, and now he's doing this for us. Yea, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee. And I anointed thee with oil. Jump down to verse 11. Verse 11. I decked thee also with ornaments. And I put bracelets upon thy hands. And the chain on thy neck. Man, who that sound like? That's the people today, man. Don't ever let anybody tell you that the black people, that this Bible doesn't describe black people. Verse 12. And I put a jewel on thy head, on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears, and a beautiful crown upon thine head. Because what the Most High took us, he took us from that death state. He brought us back up. He set us on high here. Keep reading, huh? Thus wast thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen, and silk, embroidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey, and oil, and thou wast exceeding beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom. These things the Most High did for us. So now we see when we chose other nations, we went out and they didn't do these things for us. They didn't want to do that for us. But the Most High took us back, and look at what he did. Look at how prosperous we are. You read not. And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty. And thy renown, the renowned men or the top men, the people who we look up to, they went out and they went to the heathen. They went to them for the beauty. For it was perfect through my comeliness, which I have put upon thee, saith the Lord God. Let's get understanding. Give me Lamentations 2 and 15. See, no matter how much the Most High God does for us, we still over time we still have that amount of people, that certain amount of people in our nation that are still going to constantly choose Esau and other nations. Lamentations 2 and 15. And it's actually sad. But all praise to the Most High for being a great and gracious God. Go ahead and read on. The book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 15. All that passed by clapped their hands at thee. They hissed and wagged their head at the daughter of Jerusalem. Keep reading. Saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty? So guess what? The renown of our nation went out. They went to the heathen, and they went to them. They looked to them for beauty. They looked to them for ideas and thoughts. And this right here is ultimately what ended up happening to us. Keep reading. The joy of the whole earth. Yes, we're supposed to be the beauty, the joy, the perfection of the earth. These are the things that we're supposed to exude out of ourselves. These are the things that should come out of us when we walk. But instead, today you see crackheads downtown. You see homeless people downtown. You see us. We dirt now. Keep reading, huh? All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. Man, this is happening today. These are things that happen today in cities. These are things that actually happen to the people of the Bible. They say, we have swallowed her up. Guess what? We have swallowed her up because we went and we followed what they wanted to do. Keep reading. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. We have seen it. Keep reading. The Lord hath done that which he had devised. Guess what the Most High did, which he devised. Remember that covenant we made with the Most High? Don't go make a covenant with the other nations. Well, we broke that. Keep reading. He hath fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. Keep reading. He had thrown down and had not pity. Guess what? He didn't show any pity because we had already done it before we went off again. Keep reading. And he had caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. Now you see, thine enemy is rejoicing over thee. They make fun of us. They're happy for it to be like this. The more of us that are in sin, the more they can rule this kingdom and continue to be over us. He hath set up the horn of thine adversaries. He set up our adversaries because we didn't want to keep the law. We didn't want to follow what God was saying. Give me Isaiah 9:14. And this all goes back to the roots in the head. It always starts in the head and it goes down. Isaiah 9:14. Book of Isaiah, chapter 9, and verse 14. Therefore, the Lord will cut off from Israel head and tail. Read that first verse. Read it again, Verse 14. Therefore, the Lord will cut off from Israel head and tail, branch and rush, in one day. Guess what? Let's get understanding. Keep reading now. The ancient and honorable. The ancient and honorable, okay? He is the head. Guess what? The ancient and honorable. That is the head or the priest, the king. Keep reading up. And the prophet that teaches lies. The prophet that goes out and he goes to our people and he teaches them lies. Keep reading. He is the tail. So guess what? Let's read verse 14 again. Let's get understand on it now. Verse 14. Therefore, the Lord will cut off from Israel head. That's going to guess what? The ancient and honorable. Keep reading up. And tail. Guess what? The prophet that teaches lies. Jump down to verse 16. Verse 16. For the leaders of this people caused them to err. Guess what? The leaders of this people have caused them to err. They've caused them to go off. They're causing them to be askew, to do wrong. Keep reading. And they that are led of them are destroyed. They that are led of them are destroyed. These are our leaders today. See our leaders today, what? Kirk Franklin, T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar. These are the people that we look up to as leaders. LeBron James. We as a people should not be looking up to athletes as a leader of our nation. Go ahead.
Let me get Proverbs 9 and 12. That's a precept. Isaiah 9 and 15 and 16.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 9 and verse 12. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise. Book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 12. If a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked.
Everybody around him is wicked too. I know that precept to get more.
Jump on verse 14. This is the flip side. Verse 14. Verse 14. The king that faithfully judges the poor. Guess what? The king that faithfully judges the poor, the king that uses the law, statutes, and commandments to judge his people. Keep reading. His throne shall be established forever. Who that sound like? That's going to Christ. Guess what? His throne will be established forever because he's keeping the law and he's doing what his father tells him to do. That right there is how you can get a kingdomship forever. That right there is how you can make it to heaven. We have to strive to be perfect, to strive to be like Christ. Give me Ezekiel 16 and 15. Go ahead and go back. Ezekiel 16 and 15. Go ahead and read it. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 15. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty. Guess what? We as a people, we didn't trust our own beauty. We didn't trust what the Most High gave us. We didn't like it. We didn't trust it. So guess what we did? Keep reading. And played the harlot because of thy renown. Guess what? Because of our renown, because of the people who led us, we played the harlot. We went out and we poured out for other nations. We followed what they wanted to do. Keep reading. And pours out thy fornications on everyone that passed by. This is talking about on the spiritual level. Guess what? We spiritually fornicated against the Most High. This is what we did. We broke His covenant. It's like a covenant is nothing but a marriage. That's what marriage is making a covenant between people or between the Most High. The Most High and us, we had a marriage. We had a covenant, and we fornicated. His it was. And of thy garments thou didst take. Okay, you start over. Verse 16. And of thy garments, actually, no. Give me Hosea 4:16. I'm gonna get that now. Hosea 4:16. That's after Daniel again, right? The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 16. For Israel slideth back as a backsliding heifer. Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Fine, read that over again. Verse 16. For Israel slideth back as a backsliding heifer. Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. You read not. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. This is self-explanatory. You read not. Their drunk is sour. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love. Yes, well, this is going back into our rulers again. We as a nation, we saw our rulers go off. We did nothing but follow them, and we went off, and guess what? Here we are today. The worst it's ever been. Keep reading. Give ye. The wind hath bound her up in her wings. And they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. Yes, so we weren't doing sacrifices to the Most High anymore. We were doing sacrifices to the other nations, to other gods. By guess what? You know how you do those sacrifices? By going to church on Sunday, by eating pork. By guess what? People who participate in Muslim things by going to the rock, or people who preach. If you the most one of the most pagan things you can do is wear a house around your neck. These are things that we the people we've been caught up in. Well, let's get this house on. Would you wear a gun around your neck, the same gun that they use to kill somebody in your family? Would you wear that around your neck? That's not something you would do. So why do we as a people put a cross on our neck that signifies Christ's death? Give me Ezekiel 16 and 16. Let's go back. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 16. And of thy garments thou didst take, and deckedst thy high places with diverse colors. Guess what? We went and we decked our high places with diverse colors. That's going to, guess what? That's going to sacrificing to other gods or going after other gods. And played the harlot thereupon. Yep, we played the harlot there. We gave ourselves to the other nations. We took in unto their philosophies. Keep reading. The like things shall not come, neither shall it be so. Thou hast also taken thy fair jewels of my gold. Guess what? We've taken the fair jewels of the Most High's gold. Keep reading. And of my silver. Guess what? And of your silver. Keep reading. Which I had given thee, and made it to thyself images of men. We took the Most High's, the stuff the Most High gave us, and we created idols with it. This is peak wickedness. This is actual. This is sad. The Most High gave us blessings, and we took those blessings and we said, let's make an image of men with it. Keep reading, and did commit whoredom within them. So with them, we committed whoredom with them. We committed whoredom by worshiping them and following them and going after them. Yeah. Jump down to verse 21. Verse 21. That thou hast slain my children. Guess what? Thou hast slain my children. Keep reading. And delivered them to cause them to pass through the fire for them. You have delivered them and caused them to pass through the fire. Keep reading. Pass through the fire. Oh, my bad. Causing your children to pass through the fire is telling your children it's okay to sin, it's okay to do wickedness. It's telling your children that they can go out on Halloween and treat. It's giving your children a Christmas or giving your children a birthday. These are things that we were not commanded to do by the Bible. But instead, we follow what man say, and man said, let's glorify ourselves and let's have a birthday party. Go ahead. Let's get Deuteronomy 22. Oh, that's my next piece. Go ahead. That's my next piece. Go ahead. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire. Like Job just alluded to. Making your son or daughter pass through the fires. We doing Halloween, but we only doing it for the kids. We doing Christmas, but we only doing it for the kids. You passing your kids through the fire too. Or that uses divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. That's 11. I just want to but yeah, causing your children to pass through the fire is these are the things that we've done. We've been going out and we've letting our children participate in wicked activities and wicked processes. Go ahead, let's go back. Ezekiel 16 and 22. How we went out and we did things the Most High didn't like, and guess what? We're in this situation today. So don't ever look up and be like, Most High, why are people like this? Why does it happen to us? We know why. Because we didn't follow the laws. Because you didn't put fringes on your shirt. Because you didn't go to church on the Sabbath. Because guess what? You didn't cover your head. Because a woman didn't cover her head when she read the Bible. Or because a man didn't keep a beard on his face. These are all things that we broke. We broke the Most High didn't do. Go ahead and read, all right? The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 22. And in all thine abominations in thy whoredoms, thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth. Yes, so we didn't remember the days of our youth when we were with God. Keep reading. When thou wast naked and bare, and was polluted in thy blood. Guess what? This is going back to when we were naked. When we were in sin, and the Most High took us in. We don't remember that. We have a short attention span. You can see that throughout the Bible. Guess what? We got took out of Egypt, and I kid you not, as soon as they got took out, they want to go back. We as a people have to stop having this short attention span. We have to remember what the Most High God does for us. And the only way to do that is by reading the Bible. Actually, before you get that, I'm going to take that. Give me the root 428. I want root 428. Because, like I said, we the people have a short attention span, and we always forget. It doesn't take that much for us to forget what the Most High has done for us and what He will do for us. So this right here is how we can combat that short attention span. Baruch 4:28. Go ahead and read that out. The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from God, as it was your mind to go astray from God, or to leave God and not keep His commandments. Keep reading. So, being returned, keep. Go ahead. Seek Him 10 times more. Guess what? Seek Him 10 times more. That is the only way. You have to wholeheartedly put your one foot forward towards seeking the Most High God. If you don't, you will fall off again. You can't do it 9 times. You can do it 10 times. That is the only way to do. What does 10 times look like? Guess what? Reading your Bible and understanding the laws that you have to keep. That is the only way. Go ahead. You sure? Sure. Okay. Let's go to Jeremiah 19:4. Jeremiah 19:4. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 19 and verse 4. I'm sliding. Yeah, 19:4. Because they have forsaken me, and have estranged this place. Guess what? Because they have forsaken me and defiled the temple, and have burned incense in it unto other gods. Guess what? They burned incense in the temple of the Most High God. They burned the incense to other gods while in His temple. That's high level wickedness. Keep reading. Whom neither they nor their fathers have known. Keep reading. Nor the kings of Judah. Keep reading. And have filled this place with the blood of innocents. Guess what? This right here is the kicker. Read verse 5. They have built also the high places of Baal. Yes, so we built high places of Baal. We went and actually served other gods. This right here lets you know we as a people we have to really think about what we're doing. We have to really put into action what we say. If we say we're gonna read the Bible, let's actually read the Bible. If we say we're gonna keep the law, let's actually keep the law. We gotta stop. We gotta stop getting on this mindset of just eating the evil and teaching it to your children. Keep reading. To burn their sons with fire, yes, for burnt offerings unto Baal. This is passing your children through the fire. Keep reading, literally, keep reading. Which I commanded not. Guess when He commanded us not, He said, make no covenant with the other nations. We went out. Keep reading. Nor spake it. Neither came it into my mind. Neither came it into my mind. This was never what the Most High intended for us to be doing today or ever. He never intended for us to go into slavery. He never intended for these things to happen. But lo and behold, look what happened. We went off, and now this is where we are today. This is how we got to this place. Okay, give me Ezekiel 16-23. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 23. I'll read. And it came to pass, after all thy wickedness, after all this wickedness, guess what? Woe, woe unto thee, said the Lord God. Woe is another word for destruction. The Most High saying destruction unto thee, destruction unto your wickedness, destruction unto your children, because you didn't want to keep my law. Keep reading. That thou hast also built unto thee an eminent place. And has made thee an high place in every street. Guess what? We've made thee a high place in every street, a high place for wickedness. Guess what? If you go into places where our people live and you see churches on every corner. These are signs of wickedness. Churches that when they go to church on Sunday. First of all, they go to church on that Sunday, which is not even the correct day. And then they'll leave church and they'll go home and they'll go eat abominable things. Give me Jeremiah 11:3. And they what they claim to be the Sabbath on Sunday, they buy and sell on that day, and they cook food on that day. So they're not even keeping the Sabbath correct. They do a lot of things against the Most High God. That's why the Most High God is against them. Jeremiah 11:3. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 11 and verse 3. And say thou unto them. Say unto them, speak unto them, let them know this is something important. Keep reading. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel. Cursed be the man that obeyeth not the words of this covenant. Cursed be the man who obeyeth not the words of this covenant. This is a nod back to Deuteronomy 28. Because as we know, Deuteronomy 28, it details all the curses and what we went through because we didn't want to follow the Most High God's commandments. So again, it's plain and simple. Cursed be the man who don't keep the covenant. Let's go back. Ezekiel 16-26. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 26. Thou hast also committed fornication with the Egyptians, thy neighbors. Yeah, so you committed fornication with the Egyptians. Keep reading. Great of flesh, and hast increased thy whoredoms to provoke me to anger. Not only did we do whoredoms, but we increased them so much that we're trying to provoke the Most High God into anger. We want the Most High God to be angry at us. Let's get understanding. Give me Deuteronomy 31 and 20. Deuteronomy 31 and 20. We provoke the Most High God to anger with the wickedness that we continue to keep committing. Go ahead and read that. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31 and verse 20. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey. That's what when ye shall have brought us to this land, keep reading. And they shall have eaten and filled themselves. That's what after the Most High God has took us out of Egypt, brought us to this land, and guess what? We got full, we eating good now. Guess what? Here comes the memory loss. Keep reading. And waxing fat. We got fat. We was eating good. We had a good land. Now our memory start to get faded. Keep reading. Then will they turn unto other gods. Now we got big. Now we think we puffed up. Now we turn away from God. We think we don't need God anymore. Keep reading. And serve them. And provoke me. Keep reading. And break my covenant. Remember, cursed is the man that does not keep the covenant, or that breaketh the covenant. Guess what? We provoke the Most High God by breaking his covenant. Let's jump over. Give me Deuteronomy 20 and 7. Deuteronomy 20 and 7. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20 and verse 7. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife? Let's keep reading. And hath not taken her. Let him go and return unto his house. Oh, my bad. Ezekiel 27. My bad. Ezekiel 27. Ezekiel 27. I'm so sorry. I know. I be mad too when my people do this stuff. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 20 and verse 7. Then said unto them, cast ye away every man the abomination of his eyes, and defile not yourselves with the idols of Egypt. This is something the Most High told us not to do. Guess what? Don't defile yourself with the idols of Egypt. Keep reading. I am the Lord your God. Guess what? He is the Lord our God. We have a God. We have someone to look up to. A lot of these. Guess what? Every other nation that is not Israel cannot say these words. Read that last part. I want you to read that last part again. I am the Lord your God. These other nations can't say, they can't hear the Most High say that to them because he is literally not their God. He's only our God. So for us to continue to go out and go back and forsake him and not keep his law, it's astonishing. It's an astonishment. That's why we looked at this way. We looked at it as a bad and fatherless nation. Let's go back. Give me Ezekiel 16 and 27. Ezekiel 6, go ahead, everybody. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 27. Behold, therefore I have stretched out my hand over thee, and have diminished thine ordinary food. Guess what? The Most High God can stretch out his hand to help us, and he can also stretch out his hand to hurt us. Keep reading. And delivered thee unto the will of them that hate thee. Yes, he gave us over to the people that hate us, the same people we tried to go to, but they wouldn't give us any nourishment. Keep reading. The daughters of the Philistines, which are ashamed of thy lewd way. And I just want to bring this back. I just want to also give understanding to this. When we were naked and we were hungry and we didn't have food, that's also a nod to Christ as well. Because guess what? When Christ was naked, when Christ didn't have food, many of us didn't show him the love that he deserved, that he should have gotten as a brother of us. But yeah, let's get understanding on this precept right here. Give me 2 Chronicles 28:16. The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 28, verse 16. At that time, the king Ahaz sent unto the kings of Assyria to help him.
Guess what? This is King Ahaz. King Ahaz was a king of the southern kingdom. He was the king of Judah. He ruled for 16 years, and he was a bad king. He was a wicked king. He did all wickedness in the sight of the Most High God. Read that over again,
verse 16. At that time, the king Ahaz sent unto the kings of Assyria to help him.
Guess what? He's asking for the kings he's asking the kings of Assyria for help. This is already bad because he's already breaking his commandment the Most High gave us. He said, guess what? Make no covenant with them. If he needed help, he should have went to the Most High God. Keep reading.
For again, the Edomites had come and smitten Judah and carried away captives.
This is something that was happening right now. Yes, the Edomites were bugging us. Keep reading.
The Philistines also had invaded the cities.
Guess what? And the Philistines were attacking villages and cities in Judah. Keep reading.
Of the low country, and of the south of Judah, and had taken Beth-Shemesh.
These are all places. Keep reading.
And Ajalon, and Gederoth, and Shoko, with the villages thereof.
Keep reading.
And Timnah, with the villages thereof. And Gimzo, also in the villages thereof. And they dwelt there.
Guess what? The Philistines and the Edomites were bugging us. So King Ahaz, he went to the Assyrians for help instead of going to the Most High God. As we know, we shouldn't make a covenant with them. So keep reading on.
For the Lord brought Judah low because of Ahaz, king of Israel.
Guess what? The Most High God brought Judah low because of Ahaz. Keep reading.
For he had made Judah naked.
Guess what? He made us naked. He put us in sin. He's example of our renown or our ruler. He's targeting to lies right now, so he's putting his whole nation into sin right now. Keep reading.
And transgressed sword against the Lord.
To get that piece up for naked, that's Exodus 32 and 24. Go ahead and get the Exodus 32 and 24. Let's get understanding on nakedness.
The book of Exodus, chapter 32, and verse 24. And I said unto them, whosoever hath any gold.
25. Go down 25. Go ahead,
verse 25. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies.
This right here is another example of our rulers making us naked or hearkening to lies. When Moses went up to go talk to the Most High God, Aaron, he made a golden calf and he sacrificed unto idols. He made the people naked. He put the people in sin. Let's jump back. 2 Chronicles 28 and 16.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 28, verse 16. At that time, did King Ahaz send unto the kings of Assyria to help him.
Go ahead, jump down there. Jump down verse 20.
2 Chronicles 28 and 20. And Tilgath-Pilneser.
Tilgath-Pilneser. He's a king of Assyria right there. He ruled from 745 BC to 727 BC. Keep reading, God.
King of Assyria came unto him.
He came unto him. Keep reading.
And distressed him. But strengthened him not.
Guess what? The same thing happened. This happened again. Remember at the beginning of Ezekiel 16, we were naked. We needed clothing. We needed warmth. And in the other nations, when we went to, they didn't provide that for us, but the Most High God did. So now, King Ahaz is going to the king of Assyria right now, and he's asking him for help. And he did the same thing again. He over time, we have to realize we have to get out of this Stockholm syndrome. We have to break out of this mindset. Other nations are here to help us. They're not. Their goal is to keep us in sin, to keep us under submission. So guess what? They can be ruled.
Keep reading, God. Verse 21. For Ahaz took away a portion out of the house of the Lord.
Guess what? Ahaz brought a portion of Israel out because what he did by going to that king. Keep reading.
And out of house of the king and of the princes, and gave it unto the king of Assyria. But he helped him not.
Guess what? He gave part of our nation to him, and the king of Assyria, he said, "No, I'm still not gonna help you." He was still against him. Go ahead, keep reading.
And in the time of his distress, did he trespass yet more against the Lord. This is that King Ahaz.
This is King Ahaz's wickedness right here. Keep reading.
For he sacrificed unto the gods of Damascus.
Guess what? He sacrificed unto the gods of Damascus. So it shows you where Ahaz's mindset was. Ahaz's mindset was so far against the Most High God, he went to the other nations to help us. Keep reading.
Which smote him.
Guess what? They smote him. Keep reading.
And he said, because the gods of the kings of Syria helped them, therefore will I sacrifice to them.
Yes, he put his eggs all in the Assyrian basket. Guess what? He said, I'm gonna go to the Assyrians. Keep reading.
That they may help me. But they were the ruin of him.
Guess what? They were the ones who put him to ruin. They were the ones who caused him his downfall. Keep reading.
And of all Israel.
And of all Israel, our people as a whole went off because of King Ahaz. Because King Ahaz did not believe in the Most High God. Keep reading.
And Ahaz gathered together the vessels of the house of God. And cut in pieces the vessels of the house of God.
Guess what? This is wickedness unto the Most High God. Keep reading.
And shut up the doors of the house of the Lord.
Guess what? He shut up the doors of the house of the Lord. He took the Most High God from our people. Keep reading.
And he made him altars in every corner of Jerusalem. And in every several city of Judah, he made high places to burn incense unto other gods.
That's what he shut the temples up. He shut all that up. He took the gold. He said no more. He literally took the Most High God from us and said, guess what? Let's put on high other gods.
And provoked to anger the Lord God of his fathers.
And he provoked the Most High God to anger. I want that last part again. Those last 4 words right there.
The Lord God of his fathers.
Guess what? God, the God of his fathers. That's who his father is following right there. But he went off and he wanted to go do what he wanted to do. He got in his own mindset and he went off.
Go ahead, get it. Give me Colossians 2 and 8. He got spoiled with vain deceit. The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. He has got spoiled through philosophy and vain deceit. He wanted to do it to other nations. After the tradition of man, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. And not after Christ. He has not after Christ. So, all right, that's a good. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, let me take you 4:17. The book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
We watched for a nation that could not save us. In Assyria, they could not save us. The Edomites, they could not save us. The Canaanites, they could not save us. If we turn our back to God, those other gods are not saving us. This is the Bible telling us to stay away from it and to just stick with the Most High.
All right. This is exactly what Ahaz is. Let's keep it up. Hold this right here, but go to 2 Maccabees 4 and 14. Hold this and go to 2 Maccabees 4 and 14. Go ahead and read that.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 14. That the priests had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple.
Yes, well, these are mirroring now. The priests had no courage to serve at the temple anymore.
They didn't want to keep the Most High God's laws. Keep reading. And neglecting the sacrifices. They neglected the sacrifices of the Most High God. Keep reading. Hasten to be partakers. Hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise. After the game of discus called them forth. Keep reading. This verse 15 is the kicker right here. Not setting by the honors of their fathers. Guess what? Not following the honors of their fathers. Keep reading. But liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. But guess what? We like the glory of the Grecians best of all. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to go follow the Grecians. We didn't want to keep the Most High God's commandments. We wanted to go follow the Grecians. Keep reading. By reason of sword calamity. Guess what? Sword destruction. Keep reading. Came upon them. Keep reading. Not where they had them to be their enemies and avengers. Whose custom they followed so earnestly. Yes, we followed them so earnestly. Blind hair. Keep reading. And unto whom they desired to be like in all things. Guess what? Lighter skin. These are things that our people do today. We want to desire to be like them so much, we make our hair blind. We try to get lighter skin. We want good hair. These are things that our people want. Instead, we don't want our own beauty. We want the beauty of the Grecians or the Edomites. Now let's jump back. Give me Lamentations 4 and 19. The book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 19. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. Okay, keep reading. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits. We desire to be like them so much. And what they pay us back, they pay us dust back. We get nothing back. So we as a nation have to stop sacrificing to these other gods, these other nations, and go to the Most High God. It's just simple as that. Give me Isaiah 28:7. Go ahead, finish the verse. Of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Isaiah 28:7. Isaiah 28. Where we go? The book of Isaiah, chapter 28 and verse 7. But they also have erred through wine. Yes, so we have erred through wine. Keep reading. And through strong drink. Yes, so we're drunkards now. Keep reading. Are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. Erred. You know, erred is going to going out, being askew. Keep reading. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way thereof. Through strong drinks. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. So the Most High is likening us to someone being drunk. He's saying, guess what? Us going off and not keeping his laws is like a drunk person. As you know, a drunk person, they don't have when you get so drunk, you sometimes lose your motor skills. You can't speak, you can't see, you can't hear. These are things that happen when you're drunk. Keep reading. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness. So that there is no place clean. There is no place clean. We're filthy now. We're disgusting. We got wickedness all on us. Keep reading, dog. Whom shall he teach knowledge? Guess what? Who can he teach knowledge if he don't know knowledge? Keep reading. And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk. That's what we don't have that. We don't have the basic understandings anymore. Keep reading. And drawn from the breast. There is no more basic understanding. You know what the basic are? The basic understanding is the laws. We don't even know that. You know what the basic is? Knowing that we're Israelites. We don't know that. But guess what? Our ox know his owner, but we don't know who our father is. We constantly, every day, we go off and we do what the other nations tell us to do. Instead, we don't think and we don't say, let's read the Bible. Give me Ephesians 4 and 14. The book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 14. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro.
We should be no more children tossed to and fro. Keep reading.
And carried about with every wind of doctrine.
Guess what? Carried about with every wind of doctrine. Every time the wind blow, we over there. Every time the wind blow, we over here now. Because we gotta stay away from these other religions that the Most High told us not to be in. Because I mean, it's a lot of people who a lot of people who find the truth. They jump from religion to religion to religion until they finally find the truth, and then that's when they finally get that unlock in their head. But we have to stop jumping from these different doctrines and just choose the Most High God.
By the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive.
Guess what? We not only are we deceived by other men who come and their only goal is to deceive people and to sway people and to take them away. That is their only goal. They're hunters of souls. They want your soul. Because a lot of us we act like children. So with that, give me 1 Corinthians 14 and 20. We gotta stop acting like we don't know what's going on. We have to stop acting as if we're dumbfounded. Now it's actually game time now. Go ahead, read it out.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14 and verse 20. Brethren, be not children in understanding.
Guess what, brother? Be not children in understanding. You can't be a child in understanding anymore because the understanding is out there. It's out. It's available for you to learn, and you can close your eyes. You can choose not to listen to it, but it's out there. Keep reading.
Howbeit, in malice be ye children, but in understanding be men.
Guess what? In wickedness, we can be a child in wickedness because guess what? A child in wickedness will not know how to do wickedness. But we have to be men in understanding. When it comes to knowing this Bible, when it comes to knowing the precepts, when it comes to keeping the law, we have to be men and we have to be adults and we have to grow up. And that even goes for children in the truth. Children themselves have to be men in understanding. Let's jump. Let's keep going. Let's read Isaiah 51 and 20. Let me get 1 Kings 2 and 2. As he said, even children are men in understanding. How do you be a man? Let's go to 1 Kings 2 and 2. 1 Kings 2 and 2, by the way. 1 Kings 2 and 2. Yeah. Speak up.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 2 and verse 2. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and shew thyself a man.
Okay. Read verse 2.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes, and his commandments, and his judgments.
The way you become a man is keeping the commandments. That's how you become a man.
And his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
That's how you become a man, by you doing the laws, statutes, and commandments, and being there. And this Bible is so true. It's so true even to the name, because the name Bible means basic instructions before leaving earth. These are all, everything you need in this lifetime to get to the kingdom is in this book. It only requires you just to open it and just to read, to seek him 10 times, so you yourself don't forget. Give me Isaiah 51 and 20. We gotta stop treating the Most High God as so we can just walk all over. We gotta stop and actually look and let's think about this. Let's be logical. Let's try to be a part of this 1/3. Isaiah 51 and 20.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 51 and verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
Guess what? Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the heads of all the streets. That's us today. Keep reading.
As a wild bull.
Guess what? A wild bull. Keep reading.
In a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord.
Guess what? They are full of the fury of the Lord. They are full of angriness because guess what? They wonder what's going on. Why they like this. Keep reading, dog.
The rebuke of thy God.
Guess what? That's the rebuke of the Most High God. You want to know what it looks like when somebody get rebuked by the Most High God? Look at yourself. Look at our nation today. This is what happens when the Most High God rebukes the nation. This right here. We go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of slavery, and we go through generations without knowing who we are in our heritage. Keep reading on.
Verse 21. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine.
Guess what? But not with wine. Keep reading.
Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God, that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury.
The Most High God is trying to take the wickedness from us. Keep reading.
Thou shalt no more drink it again.
Guess what? This next time we won't be drinking it again. We'll be in the kingdom. Then it won't be any more going off. We as a people will be united, and we will know, because guess what? The Most High God is going to kill off the 2/3. Keep reading, not.
But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over.
Guess what? The people that get the people who are in the truth and who are getting afflicted. That's where it will now be partially to. Keep reading.
And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street, to them that went over.
Guess what? Even us today, we as a people, as knowing the truth and knowing what the Most High God say, we have a hard time just trying to tell our people what they should be doing right. Because they look at us and they say, nah, that's not right. Nah, that's too strict. Nah, that's not enough. We can't do that. We can't keep the laws here today. We want to follow the white man. And we have to realize that God Himself said, guess what? We can't rely on other nations. We as a people have to think for ourselves. But give me Deuteronomy 75. This is the last precept. Deuteronomy 75.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 5.
Let me get there.
Deuteronomy 7 and 5. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire.
Guess what? If you read up, that's what we were before when it says make no covenant with them. But since we did make a covenant with them, guess what? We have to break down the altars now. Now we have to turn away from the wickedness and go back to the Most High God. You read not.
For thou art an holy people.
Guess what? We are a holy people, a separate people. Keep reading. No, actually, even though we down, we still a holy people to the Most High God. That shows you the love He has for us. Keep reading.
Unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
We're a special people. We're a separate people from everybody else on this earth. He has given us the law and nobody else. Keep reading.
Unto Himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
We are above everybody else on the face of the earth. That should mean something. This precept should mean something. This Bible should mean something. Keep reading.
The Lord did not set His love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people.
Yeah, so we weren't the most numbered of any people. We were the least numbered of any people. I just keep reading.
For ye were the fewest of all people.
We were the fewest of all. We were the fewest actually. So this lets you know the Most High has a strong love for us. Keep reading, not.
But because the Lord loved you,
keep reading.
And because He would keep the oath which He had sworn unto your fathers,
even though we as a people have broken His covenant multiple times, the Most High God is still going to keep the oath He swore to our fathers. That's a beautiful thing. Keep reading.
Hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand?
Yes, like I said, like the Bible say, the Most High God, He can bring you out, and He can take you out and bless you with a hand, but He can also curse you with His hand. Keep reading.
And redeem you out of the house of bondage, of bondmen. So I read it. From the land of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
Yes. Egypt. The Most High God, He released us out of there. He brought us out of Egypt. With that being said, that's the end of the class right there. That's the last precept. We always try to tell people to keep the laws and keep the law, statutes, and commandments, but the only way to keep the laws is by knowing the law. So I got a law here today. Deuteronomy 18:10. That's the law right there. Yeah. No, my bad. No, right there. Leviticus 19:29. Dude. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh, y'all, I looked up. I see everybody like, okay. My bad. I don't like to mess up the paper. Leviticus 19:29.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 29.
Uh-huh.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
This is going out to the men. Men, do not prostitute your daughter to cause her to become a whore. You know how you do that? By not allowing her to wear, by not telling her to wear a dress. These are things that can these are things you do to prostitute your daughter. Keep reading.
Lest the land fall to order.
And guess what? Women, do not go out and fall to her. Keep reading.
And the land become full of wickedness.
Guess what? The land become full of wickedness. That's the law right there. The Most High God says, do not follow the order. With that, we're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.